Hi guys, DN Neo here, and today on the hot seat, it's just gonna be me. It's just gonna be me today. I really enjoy having the guests on, but obviously timing and trying to get people when they're free, etc., etc. It can be difficult. So, I basically just wanted to talk very briefly, or not briefly, but a little bit about graphics. Me and Pyro kind of went over the game companies and stuff like that, and I kind of want to go back to that, but I also kind of want to talk about graphics now. Over the last few years, there's been more and more of a buzz over indie games and the fact that indie games are becoming, it seems, more and more popular. Now, the other night I was kind of trying to think why, and not that it's a bad thing or I'm against it, but I was thinking why, and it seems to me it's because of graphics. Now let me explain. So, you get a AAA game, okay, and you're playing through it, and they've spent hours and hours and hours and weeks and months and sometimes even years, making a game as beautiful as they can, with the scenery, with the background, with the character models, whatever it is. Even sometimes using real people to kind of capture the face and plaster that over the model, and that's really cool. But I think the problem is, with a game like that, is they're usually so high impact. They're so fast. They're so next mission, what's the next thing, or you gotta go here, you gotta go there, and obviously you want to carry on with the story if you're playing it because you're invested in the story and you want to carry it on. So I think that's actually a disadvantage. Now, I know, I sound like I'm going cuckoo, but bear with me, guys. So, I think it is to do with, so they do these, months, again, sometimes years or year of making games pretty, but you don't get the time to appreciate it. You don't get the time to look at a mountain that's taken someone hours and hours and hours to create and make the birds come from that cliff, or a town that has, buildings, and they've studied real architect to make sure it looks the best and realistic. But you're just going. You're going through the game, and it seems to me that indie games, even if the graphics are lower, or what would be considered lower, or a different art style, a choice of art style, I should say. And if there is a moment in those games where you are wandering around, it seems you're given more of an opportunity to look around. Now, it seems those big spectacle moments in the indie games are less, because obviously it's usually a smaller team or just one person sometimes, but it's less. So, and to me, I don't know which one is more important in the sense of a gamer, a sense of experiencing the world and really being immersed into whatever you are playing. Now, there are some obvious exceptions of, if it's free roam and you're only choosing to go from mission to mission, then that's on the player, and that's fair enough. The person has spent their money; they're entitled to do with the game what they will. But I don't know whether it's worth, or which one I value more as a gamer, of those once in a blue moon in the game, once spectacle that you get to sit back, you get to appreciate, or the spectacles are all around me constantly in the game, but I don't get the chance because it's so high impact. There's another enemy, there's another thing to do, or it's even on a timer sometimes. I mean, I think sometimes games damn themselves because, oh, well, we're going to add this just because it's something to add, and it will... No, you don't have to add everything and the kitchen sink. We're not... as gamers, we're not stupid. We can see when a game is just adding things. In my opinion, anyway. We can see where, oh, well, they've thrown that in just because. And sometimes that just because is cool factor. And there's nothing against that or nothing wrong with that. But it seems to me that indie games are really showing the way of, okay, we don't have the best graphics, we don't have the best budget, we don't have the team, we don't have, but they're adding these moments that are sticking with us, these moments that are really kind of ingrained in us, where we're talking about them still 2 weeks down the line. And I'm not talking about a critic or someone doing a review or whatever it is, but just talking with our friends or family or whatever it may be, and we're going, this was a really cool moment. And I think we've lost some of that, and I think it is because of this over spectacle pantomime of games now, in the sense that if every moment is 5-star, if every moment is off the shelf and is mind-blowing, then none of them are. And I think not that games need to turn down, they can still have that much impact and that much creativity and force behind it, but it just doesn't have to be coated in this glitter almost, or, ooh, I'm shiny, I'm new. I mean, I think that's why, not with all games, but some games, the tutorial levels now, you're not fully done with them until you've played, 3-4 hours. You're still learning new things, and I understand the reasons for that, but just adding more and more mechanics, or in this case, talking about the graphics, adding more and more visual stuff, just so then, hey, we check that box, and we check that box, and we, and I think indie games have got it right at the moment, in the sense that there doesn't seem to be, or at least this feel of checkbox. They are just, okay, they have this idea, or maybe one or two ideas, they have the flesh out of the story, maybe, this is what they want to do with it, and I think that we need to have a lot more of that from the AAA games, the titles, that kind of roller coaster of, you know, of emotions or views in a game, or different levels of beauty, and I guess that's kind of what I'm really trying to get at, is that different levels. You know, if you have a beautifully, perfectly served steak every single night, it doesn't take away from how good the steak is, but it's probably going to get really boring. You know, sometimes you want the crappy Mackies. And I'm not saying that indies are the crappy Mackies, but my point is we still enjoy the McDonald's or Burger King or KFC or, you know, if you're in America, Wendy's or Taco Bell. I hope I've not just totally butchered those names, but my point is, there is a reason why there are these different choices, and that's all I'm really saying with gaming, I guess, and the graphics, and I think indies are making it so then it's not just a 6-course banquet of the same dishes every single time. I think the indies are going to slowly become the kind of the viable option. I think the second option, or sometimes even the first option. And again, the same thing implies, by the way, that if you're always eating Mackey's, Burger King, KFC, Wendy's, Taco Bell, whatever, sometimes you want that steak. Sometimes you want that beautifully prepared steak. You want that a little bit of pantomime with your dinner. So I think it works both ways. By the way, I'm not just slagging off the pro game companies, but I think the problem is there's become such a level now, that if you're under it, then you're seen as less. And I think that, and I'll kind of flip this on its head a little bit for a second. I think the people that are doing indie games are kind of guilty of this in a different way, in the sense that, oh, we're indie, or we're an indie game, so therefore we don't have to. And I don't think that's right either. I understand limited resources, and if they've not done it because of the limited resources, then that I understand as well, that I respect as well. But I'm saying, if they just don't because, well, we've put enough time and we'll get a bit of money off this or whatever down the line, then this will see us right. So I really do feel that there needs to be that balance. There needs to be that right level of balance. There needs to be that balance, you know. And I gotta say, guys, you know, my palate is kind of full with always having shiny shoved in my face, and I've kind of spoken about this quite openly quite a lot, that usually the shiny isn't shiny and it's just a redone or reskin of an old idea, or even an old game. I'm not even talking about remakes now, but just, oh, well, that is that, and that's very, very obvious, and you can see it. You know, taking inspiration, I think, is something different. But yeah, it definitely kind of, I don't know, it just kind of spoils the appetite, for me at least, and it just kind of makes the whole thing seem a little one-dimensional, and that's really weird because they're trying to make the games not one-dimensional by adding all this beauty and trying to flesh it out, and no corner of the game isn't attended to or looked at, or graphics wise now, or still talking about graphics wise, and sometimes less is more, and sometimes more is less as well. I think, with regards to the indies, that you'll have this kind of 2D painted on backdrop, but if the characters or the emotional beats or the story or the whatever it is, or even just the mechanics of the game, hits that player or hits us as players right, then that's all it takes as well sometimes. And I really commend indie games that are really trying to, or it seems anyway, intentionally or otherwise, but really trying to hit that spot right and do it well. And it really does seem that we are getting this banquet now, and quite a joyful banquet. Words, Neo. Banquet. No, that word's gone now. Can't say it, guys. Feast. But it really does just seem like we're finally getting that as gamers. And that, I think, is something to be acknowledged, is something to talk about a lot more, and it is something to praise, I think. Whichever kind of side of the fence, or there doesn't even need to be a fence, but whatever you're looking for as a gamer. For me nowadays, it's, whenever I see an advert promoting a shiny new concept or shiny new idea, I usually turn my head away and go, well, that'll be BS, because they're just trying to sell the game. And unfortunately, that's kind of where I see it now, and that maybe be a further discussion later on. But guys, I think I'm going to end it here. I didn't want to make this too long. And obviously it was just me, and it's nice sometimes when you're not having to constantly talk and rattle things off, and you don't have a script and you're trying to keep it going. So these solo ones may be a little shorter, or quite a lot shorter, to be honest. But that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. Also, guys, I just wanted to really thank you guys for, it seems, really getting on board with the fact that, me being honest of, hey, I can't do the recording game series at the moment. After saying that, though, I think I have come up with something, but I don't want to talk about it at all yet, because I want to make sure I can do it. And I commit to it, at least to a certain extent. So yeah, but that's just kind of, I just really wanted to thank you guys for jumping onto this change and supporting me with it. This could have killed the channel, but apparently it's okay, and you guys are down for the change and you're supporting me through it. So I really thank you guys for that. Thank you so much. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Thank you so much for listening to my little rant. Let me know if you agree with me, or if you'd like me to talk about anything else, or if this got you thinking. And another thought that maybe I can do another little video like this on. Let me know, guys. And if I think that I have something to say about it, then I will. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. I'm gonna get the hell out of here, and I'll catch you guys whenever the next video is. Bye bye for now.